Hi, everybody. Welcome to AITA Pod. I'm Danny Vega, joined by the amazing, the inimitable Shannon D.
That's me.
Wow, Shan. What a Thanksy G it was. It was. You know what? You texted me that you didn't eat too crazy, and I also was kind of reasonable this year. Quite proud of myself.
Yeah, I did pretty good. I mean, I had seconds, obviously.
Yeah, I mean, come on, you're gonna have some seconds,
but I didn't go overboard.
thirds.
Like the Friendsgiving I went to the weekend before, I had like 7 plates.
Oh, that's right. You overate at the Friendsgiving. You got crazy up in there.
Yeah, so
You're
I think I was
gassy.
still full.
Yeah.
5 days later when real Thanksgiving was, so I was kind of like, ugh.
Yeah.
Oh, and so Max's mom was hosting, and my parents came, which was really sweet. They did that 2 years ago too, because my parents live in the area now, and so she invited them. So it was nice. We could all do it together with a couple of his brothers. And she orders from Superba. It's a restaurant right down here, and then just picks it up, and then you heat it up, and so you don't have to do any cooking really. But she forgot to order the stuffing, and the stuffing is my
the best
favorite part.
Wow, so she orders in the whole Thanksy G, huh?
Yeah, and she's like, "Oh, well, for some reason, I don't know, something happened with the stuffing. Guess we didn't order or something." And I was like, "That's okay."
It's fine.
Dying inside.
It's fine.
But it was really good. Honestly, I didn't
good.
miss it too much because also we did have it at the Friendsgiving, so I wasn't too upset.
You got your stuffing fix.
Yeah.
Well, my mom made a delicious Thanksy G. She did make my favorite pancakes ever, or tortillas, excuse me. And dear listener, Cheney made the joke. She said, "Were they terrific?" And I was like, please do not disrespect me again.
Wow.
But the thing I wanted to tell you about was I said to my friend, I was in my hometown. I said to my friend, "Hey, let's get the best salad in town." And he said, "Okay, meet me at Olive Garden." And I was like, okay, I thought you could do better than that. So we go to Olive Garden, and I get
You didn't have one in mind? I feel like when you say the best salad in town, you would have known what it was.
No, I didn't know. I thought he would know. He lives there.
Okay.
I haven't lived there for a while. And so I go there, I get a booth for 2, and then he shows up, wife and 3 children. And I was like, okay, maybe a little heads up, bro.
Yeah, I was expecting just you and I.
Yeah, so we sit down, we finally get settled, and I was like, wasn't expecting the whole fam. And he's like, "Oh, well, I can't drive. I just had a vasectomy." And I was like, okay, I guess that makes sense.
What?
Yeah, but I did learn something that's actually relevant to the pod.
Okay.
I have heard a lot of women say that a vasectomy is reversible. And this is not really true.
Yeah.
Now, it's technically reversible, yes. But he was telling me that they make you sign a lot of papers that are like, you're done now. You are done.
Oh.
Like, do you get it? This is not reversible.
Oh.
Because I guess it's not covered under insurance. It's far more invasive.
Yeah.
It's like a nightmare situation. You basically just don't want to be reversing it.
Yeah, well, no, I wouldn't. You need to make that decision with some serious care and decision making skills.
That's beautiful. We need a sticker that says that. You need to make that decision with some care and decision making skills. It's true. She's not wrong, people. She's not fucking wrong.
Yeah, I mean, I totally get when people do it when they have 3 kids. Like, you don't need any more than that. But sometimes I think when people jump the gun and do it before they've seriously thought about if they want to have kids at all.
I know, right?
It's kind of like, because everyone always says, "Oh, it's reversible, it's reversible." It's like, okay, that's a full on invasive surgery.
Yeah.
I don't think you want to be going through that twice.
I think you got to get the Vassy T once you've had 3. Boom! I'm a poet. Put that on a sticker. Didn't even know that was coming. You hated it. So then I went to his 5-year-old's birthday party. You go to stuff like this all the time. This is
5-year-old's birthday party.
Don't you always go to little cute family events and shit? No? You never been to something like that?
Well, I have, but not a 5-year-old. My best friend has kids. I'll go to their birthday parties if I'm in town.
They had a bouncing castle.
Cute.
I found out the bouncing castle is a 24-hour rental.
Oh.
Yeah, kind of fun.
Did they save it for
the
whole time?
Yeah, I was still there.
Oh.
I was like, "What's the deal with the castle?" He's like, "They're going to pick it up tomorrow."
Oh, they didn't invite you though?
What do you mean? No, I was there at the party.
Oh, I thought this was the next day.
No. So I was at the party. And one really funny thing is that at some point he was like, yeah, there was a lot of people here before. I was like, I'm not here to judge your 5-year-old birthday party. I'm not going to be like, your 5-year-old's a fucking loser, bro. But the funniest thing that happened was he's got this 8-year-old who calls me the guy who laughs a lot. That's like her. She's like, why does he laugh so much?
Wait, really?
Yeah.
That's cute.
I kind of took it as a compliment. I was like, I didn't figure myself for much of a laugher.
Yeah, because we were just talking about that the other day. You were like, I'm not really much of a laugher.
Yeah.
Like, you have to really get me to laugh. Remember?
Did I say that? Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm wrong. I think this 8-year-old read something.
Maybe.
That could be very laughy. But anyway, so it's a 5-year-old's birthday party. The 8-year-old is around, obviously, you know, she's having fun too. And then the mom discovers that somebody ate from the middle of the cake.
The middle?
The middle. You didn't
That's
take an edge
not how
piece?
it goes, honey.
You didn't take an edge piece?
Was it already cut?
It was cut into slices, but she like went in and got a center
They just
piece.
must not like the icing on the outside.
No, there were pieces with low icing elsewhere. And guess who got blamed first? Me. Which is pretty fair because the mom knows me from all these diarrhea stories, which is my friend's favorite stories about me. But anyway.
What would that have to do with you taking a middle piece of a cake?
Well, just because she thinks that I'm kind of a dirty menace. And so she's like, Danny? And I was like, no, I haven't had any cake, which was true. That's my testimony. And then she goes to her husband, my friend. No, I haven't had any cake either. And she like kept looking at him as if it was him. And I was like, wow, was it him? I don't even know right now. And then the 8-year-old came up and she goes, it was me.
Aww.
And it was cute. It was like, oh, you're not. But then she goes,
What?
She goes, I ate those pieces because that has the 5-year-old's name on it. She ate the name pieces.
That's dirty.
That's dirty.
Everyone knows the name pieces go to the birthday girl or boy.
She ate the name. Who does this?
No. That is naughty. That reminds me of this one time where we were doing like a Yankee swap, which is like that.
White elephant? Kind
Yeah.
Of? Yeah.
And
like even whiter white elephant somehow. Yankee swap. Come on, Margaret, bring the kids.
And so one of the gifts, my sister loved Butterfingers. Loved
Ooh, I
Butterfingers.
love
They were her
Butterfingers.
favorite candy, like hands down, number one. And one of the gifts was a huge tin of Butterfingers. And I was one of the last one that was able to swap. And I just used my swap to get the tin of Butterfingers.
You got them?
Yes, to spite her.
Ooh.
And I wasn't usually ever really like this. Like, I don't know why I did it. I remember feeling like really guilty after. And I think I ended up giving them to her anyway. But I remember doing it like super spitefully. I was like, where did that come from? The little devil in me like came to the surface.
Okay.
Yeah. So it kind of gets those kind of.
I love that phrasing. You really are on a streak today. The little devil in me came to the surface. I picture like this little devil that swims inside of you. And then he like pokes his head out of your belly button. Shut up, Butterfingers. Take the Butterfingers. Okay, little squeaky boy.
Yep. Wow, what a little devil girl. Devil child. That's what my aunt and uncle used to call one of my friends.
Devil child.
She's the devil child.
Sounds like it. Sounds like a girl would eat cake from the middle. But Shan, I can't believe this happened last night. Ready for this?
Okay.
I come back from the gym and I go up to my apartment and there's a man just laying in the apartment hallway.
Lying.
Takes a key to get in. He's just laying kind of in front of the stairwell. Okay. And this individual had facial tattoos and he was basically sleeping, but like back down. And so I was like, sir?
Do you really say that when you address people?
Yes.
I feel like a lot of times that's your thing. Sir?
Well, yeah, because it's kind of being respectful, but also kind of being like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
You know? So I was like, sir, do you live here? And he's like, mm-hmm. And I was like, what unit? 12. But the thing is, every unit is numbered differently. They're 3-digit numbers, like 101, 102. So there is no 12. And we were also by unit 112. So I was like, so you're this close to your apartment, but chose to sleep on the floor?
You couldn't make it there?
My building's also not big. It's like, man, if you're drunk and got this close, like you really should just finish the job.
Yeah, so he was trashed.
he was wasted and he didn't live there. I know all the people, at least relatively.
Oh, okay.
And so I was like, I don't think you live here, sir. It's time to go. Or I'm going to call the police. And then he was like, go later.
I'll go later.
You got a lighter.
Oh, you got a lighter.
And I was like, if you go quickly, I'll give you a lighter. And he like got up so slowly. I'm not even exaggerating. It must have taken 3 minutes for him to walk out of the building. He was walking so fucking slow.
Yeah.
And like he did this thing where he kept looking back at me and it's like, yes, I'm still behind you, bro. Like get the fuck out of our building. What are you doing?
Did you give him a lighter?
No, because he took too long.
Oh.
So when he got outside, he was like, can I get the lighter? I was like, no, get out of
You
here.
took way too long. I was timing your ass.
I didn't know I could act like this. Like I was scary to this guy.
Wow.
I had all these weird impulses too. I almost said like, you better watch out or I'm going to get my gun. I don't know why I wanted to say that.
Wait, really?
Yeah, which I don't have a gun. I don't know what I was going to do, but I really wanted to say that.
Wow. You were in goblin mode.
I really went goblin mode on it.
Now, do you think he was a homeless person?
I think, see, there's this line of like a homeless person and a person who I would say is more of a reveler. They're kind of like someone who's perpetually partying.
Yeah.
They may or may not have a home. Maybe they live with their parents or something. Because this guy was like, fairly young. He was drunk.
Okay, yeah.
Obviously, I don't think this guy was, the CEO of Microsoft, but like.
Right. He didn't seem like.
Well, is he really homeless?
Yeah, I have a friend who lives in Hollywood, and she's very much in the party scene there and has been for the past decade. And her friends,
the party scene.
Yes.
This is a very funny so you're like in the scene, dude. I'm going to some of the biggest parties now, bro. Like I've been in the scene.
It is a scene, literally. Like it's people that are in the scene. They all know each other. Like it's a scene. And I know it by proxy just through her whenever I hang out with her. But all these kids, like a lot of them are like, yeah, are you homeless or are you like, what is your situation? Like they're just always fucked up.
What is your situation? I don't know. Honestly, I can't tell you.
And they look like they are from the streets because they literally are just always on some kind of drugs. Yeah. So could have been one of them. I'll ask her.
I like how you sold that. Could have been one of them, a little partier. Yeah. I mean, he was menacing just because he was violating our space. But he wasn't actually very.
Well, he was too slow.
Yeah, he was very
He couldn't even do anything.
Guy.
He was moving at a sloth pace.
Yeah. I've never been like so scary to someone. I didn't know I had it in me, Shan.
I know. I love it. I love to see it.
Well, guys, thank you so much for listening. We're here on Spotify Rap Day. It's been so wonderful to see all the glowing compliments, and I'm so flattered and honored that you guys listen to the show. We work very hard on it, and it's thank you.
It's been so cool. We've been getting so many messages, so many mentions on their stories.
So great.
It's just been and also just like the kind messages of like, that we help you get through your work day or like difficult times. It just warms our hearts so much.
So sweet.
I've always wanted to because, I have those comfort shows and podcasts.
Sex in the City, we're learning.
Yeah, Sex in the City. I've been listening to a podcast that's just recaps it. But, like The Office was very much that for me, like got me through a really difficult time when I first discovered it. And so it just means so much to be able to give that back to people and be that for them. So
that was beautiful, Shan. I actually am going to confess something. It's kind of insane, but I actually think it's really true about me because I ruminate. I get stuck on something. It could be an interpersonal conflict, or it could be a song. And I never had Spotify like put this in my Wrapped, and I'm kind of embarrassed.
Oh, let's hear it.
I listened to the same song, which I barely discovered in September.
Oh, wow.
It's late November now. So how many months is that? That's 3 months.
2 months.
September, October, November. It's 3 months,
early,
right?
If it was early September.
Early September.
Okay.
Are you ready for this? I listened to this song 794 times.
Oh my God. What is it?
It's Dummy by Portugal the Man.
I don't know it. We'll have to play a little clip. No,
Yeah.
we can't, can we?
Oh, no, we can't play it on
Not
the air,
here.
but you guys can look it
You
up
can
on
Google it.
Spotify. Do you loop a song that you like, though?
Oh my God, yeah.
Oh, you do, but just not to the tune
yeah.
of 794.
I don't think that many times,
No,
but
it's
I
insane.
get stuck on one, and my dad is the exact same way. And I think I might have told the story already, but this one time we went on a road trip together, and my mom and my sister hate when my dad and I do this, like just play the same songs over and over. We get obsessed with songs that we love. And then it was just he and I on the road trip, and we were like, yes, finally we can do that thing where we just play the same songs over and over again.
And wait, but you would like the same song. So you and your dad
A lot
would
of
sync
them.
up.
Yeah. I mean, not like, not every single time, but there are those songs that we love and we like to listen to them over and over again. My mom and my sister are more like, okay, one and done, guys.
Normal people. So then on this trip, how many times in a row would you listen to the same song?
I mean, probably just a handful of times, but it was
That's
definitely
still a
more
lot, like
than
5
what
times.
other people, would want to do. It's like, oh, let's listen to it again. But I get them stuck in my head, and I listen to them so much that I will run the song into the ground, and I never want to hear it again.
That
or
normally
it takes me
happens
like
to me.
3 years to like listen to it again.
I don't know why this song has been resilient. I'm still listening to
I
it.
can't wait to hear it.
I mean, I've showed it to other people and they have
doesn't
no
ring
reaction.
true. No.
Yeah, nobody. People.
Sometimes things just hit different for every individual.
That's beautiful.
Not just sometimes, every time. All the time.
We're all snowflakes. Or I guess that's now a negative thing. Okay, good. No, where's positive?
No, yeah.
Yeah,
Snowflake.
Guys, so thank you. Rate, review, subscribe. Join us on Patreon, patreon.com/AITA pod. We got a juicy ep for you today. Shan, anything else before we do this thing?
I don't think so. Let's get into it.
Our second story of the day, folks. AITA for refusing to give back $50K that my GF's grandma gave me. But first, here is Shannon.
AITA for asking my college classmate about her pubic hair. Last weekend at college, my roommate invited a bunch of people into our dorm, a mix of girls and guys, and we were all drinking. Somehow the conversation got to a point where one of the girls, an acquaintance, asked me if I was circumcised. I felt the question was invasive and personal, so I responded, "What's your pubic hair situation?" Trying to give her a taste of her own medicine. My question was less personal than hers. It was about a styling decision, which is done on your own volition and easily changeable, as opposed to something you have no say in and have no way to change. I was hoping she would realize she had overstepped the line, but instead she just blushed and ran out of the dorm room. Now my roommate is mad at me and wants me to apologize to her, but I don't think I did anything wrong here. If she doesn't like having me ask her questions about her private area, she shouldn't be asking me questions about mine. AITA?
Very interesting. I think where I would start here is, there's this kind of intellectualization people will do when we're in a conflict. I have this new theory that I'm evolving, which conflicts are emotional. They're not logical. They're usually about just people asserting their feelings and then having those feelings validated. And I think part of what OP is trying to spin here is that her emotion is invalid. Right? Because his question was less personal than hers. And he goes on and intellectualizes the pubic hair thing. It was about a styling decision, which is done of your own volition and easily changeable. Mm-hmm. Well, those are the attributes that you've ascribed to it. But in fact, we were just talking on the bonus episode about how much sort of rhetoric there is. Rhetoric is definitely rounding up from men who discuss women's pubic hair. So what about that regime, OP? You didn't think about that, did you?
True. Yes. I mean, honestly, I would say that women strictly style their pubic hair based on what the men in society want us to do. What we've been taught is the way that we should do it. Or if you have a partner, you usually try and do it like what they find sexually attractive. But it's difficult to upkeep that a lot of the times.
Right. And you even were talking about how some guys would say that it was gross and that this led you to be very meticulous, had to get every single hair.
Yeah, when I was in college, I remember them all like hearing my guy friends talk really poorly about like if they had a hookup and she had like a little bit of hair, like even just straight up had any hair at all, like even a little patch on the top or something. They would be like, oh, it's disgusting because like for some reason, millennials and probably Gen Z too, who knows, like love the completely shaven, Siamese cat looking pussy.
I'm fine with a bush. I just know I want girls who are bald.
Bald?
On their head.
Oh, okay.
Bad joke. Didn't work. Yeah, there's a whole I mean, look, it's kind of a classic society riff here, men controlling women's appearance. So I didn't really like how OP tried to rationalize how this question was less personal. I don't think that's true. I don't think that's holding water with
I don't
me.
think it makes it less personal. It's still just because, look, I do understand what he's saying when he's saying like, yes, you can change that. Like, I can't change the fact that I'm uncircumcised. I mean, you could, but it's an invasive surgery and whatever.
I don't think it's invasive.
Well, I guess it's a surgery. I mean, it hurts. Yeah. I mean, it's a healing process and everything. Yeah. You know, it's different than just
construed as a sort of invasion.
True. Yeah.
We have conquered his foreskin. It is ours now.
Yeah, so I get that, but I don't know that it's necessarily a less personal question.
Yeah, I it's just like, what are you achieving? You're trying to tell yourself a story, but in the end, we know how this girl reacted. She blushed and ran out of the dorm room, and now it's being communicated to you that, you know, the roommate is mad and wants me to apologize to her, which I think sounds like. I mean, we could maybe throw a little bit of shade at roommate because it's like, well, you're trying to make this happen. This girl may not necessarily seek an apology. I don't know necessarily. I mean, it's
they are just acquaintances. I mean, she might just want it to be like, let's just never talk about this again.
Okay, yeah, no, I'm happy you're saying that. Yeah, absolutely.
So I guess, but yeah, maybe the roommate should maybe talk to her and be like, do you want anything from him? Maybe he already has, though, because he wants him to apologize.
Yeah. I think I think this whole thing, it's like my classic example here, you know, and it's just that the intent doesn't erase the impact. You know, it's like if someone's dog dies and you make a joke about a dead dog and you have no idea that their dog died.
Right.
Obviously, look, you didn't mean to hurt them, but you can still make them cry and affect them. And then you just say, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to do that, but I'm sorry I made you feel that way, because you just did. It was happenstance. That's just the nature of life.
Totally. But I also do understand his point of view about, like, you know, why do you feel comfortable asking me that? Like, kind of giving her a little bit of a taste of her own medicine.
Totally. It's like a funny response.
Yeah.
It's a funny way of saying no. It's like you're trying to pry, and so I'll pry back. You know, we didn't really do anything wrong. I think that's maybe another thing about apologizing. It's like you didn't necessarily do anything wrong, but that doesn't mean you didn't hurt someone, because sometimes just random shit can hurt people.
Live Claim 2444 says the blushing and running out of the room would be an indication to me that she was trying to flirt or tease you, but felt like she botched the situation when you didn't respond with something flirty/funny, i.e. buy me dinner and maybe you can find out.
I mean, that'd be pretty wild if she was like, I know exactly how this is going to play out. Okay, I'm going to get a date from this question.
Yeah. I want to know the context of how this got brought up. Like, I'm just curious what the conversation, how it got to the point of like directly asking like one person, are you circumcised? Not like all dressing all the guys in the room like, hey, you guys circumcised? Like, I don't know.
That's in my stand-up. I do that all the time. It gets a laugh.
The audience really? No, you're lying.
No,
wait, really?
Are you guys circumcised? Ladies, like, that's it. I mean, it's so stupid. It's pretty hack.
It's a funny little. It works. Maybe this was you. Are you the girl in this situation?
I am the girl, yeah. And I don't want to talk about my pubes. Actually, my pubes are great right now because of Manscaped. Our new pod sponsor.
We got to put that in.
We got
right after this.
What do you mean?
The ad.
Drop it right here? Yeah.
Yes.
They'll hear it. But yeah, they're amazing pube trimmers, and they sent me quite a few of the things. So let me just say this. I'm circumcised now. That's how good the pube trimmers are. Yeah, I don't really think there's a lot of problem here. I don't really think this guy, I'm not ready really to mount charges anywhere. The girl felt what she felt. And you know, it embarrassed her. And so if she wants an apology, you give her an apology, and it's not a problem. You know, there's this really horrible comment here that I hate. It's the OP. So actually I might ding on this note. I feel like, quote, I don't think that's any of your business would have merely made it clear I didn't appreciate the question without building empathy by flipping it back at her. No, sir. That's not, I don't know what you think you're saying.
Yeah, I don't think that he really taught her a lesson, really.
Yeah, I mean, what she did, look, I mean, she's kind of feeling out social boundaries, like feeling out this person's boundaries. Like, I personally would be like, yeah, I'm circumcised. It's not like a thing where I'm like, oh, that's personal because I didn't have any control over whether or not I was circumcised. Though I did go through a phase where I was mad at my mom about it, but it doesn't really hold up. I've Googled it a lot. Because you might think, oh, well, it feels better if you're uncircumcised.
That's what they say.
But there's guys who were uncircumcised and they got circumcised and say it feels better. It's not like a clear-cut thing.
Oh, yeah, because I've heard the opposite, too.
You've heard the opposite,
where
too,
they
right?
get circumcised and then they're like, damn, it felt so much better before.
Yeah. I just wish it was
This kind of makes me think that he's not circumcised.
That's less common.
So because I know a lot of, it never bothered me. In fact, the first time I was ever with someone that was, I didn't even realize I was, because so my parents have these best friends from Phoenix that are English.
Oh.
And I used to hook up with their son
Oh.
during Thanksgiving and Christmas.
Oh, well then.
And
his peeper's got a little surprise for you down there.
that's right.
Yeah.
And so, he had a sister too, who I was like friends with as well. And then like much later, somehow she and I were just talking and somehow circumcised penises came up. And I was like, I don't think I've ever seen one. And she was like, you've been with my brother. And I was like, oh, I didn't even notice, because in England, they don't really circumcise. It's more of like an American
You can't
thing.
see his prepuce, then.
What?
You can't see his prepuce. Little side of his foreskin.
Prepuce?
Yeah, that's another word for it.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So anyway, I just thought it was funny that I didn't even realize.
Drop that one in the bedroom.
And no,
Let me see that
you.
prepuce. You didn't even realize.
I didn't even realize.
Didn't even clock it.
And
didn't even clock it. I said it, folks.
But just like so many, like I was saying earlier about how like the guys are assholes about like women's pubic hair and judgy about it. I've heard the same. A lot of my girlfriends would be very judgy about uncircumcised penises. Be like, I wouldn't even know what to do with it, and ew, it's so ugly, and like it looks like an anteater.
It looks like an ant. That sounds cute. I'd be intrigued by that.
But to me, like I didn't even notice. I wouldn't even care. Like it wouldn't ever bother me at all.
like
And I
an
always
anteater.
thought my friends that were acting like that were really cruel. And so I can understand him like getting kind of touchy about it, because he doesn't want to answer the question. So he flipped it around on her. I think rightfully so that he doesn't want to answer.
Sure. I got no problem with the flip-eroo. I think the flip-eroo could be kind of cute and cheeky. Obviously, these are like young people, so they're like, oh, like he's kind of getting, because like I would say this in a joking way, but it sounds like he said it like, what's your pubic hair situation?
Yeah, like maybe
like,
he wasn't,
okay.
he was being a little too harsh about it.
Exactly.
I think that her running out of the room is kind of embarrassing.
Maybe she was like Mormon or something. You don't know how this girl was raised.
I know, but
It's a
you
lot.
could have answered, and like, I don't know. I always think like running out of the room is like one of the more embarrassing things you can do.
I agree.
Unless you're stomping off mad. But like if you get embarrassed and then you run away, it's like you got to face it. You got to face the embarrassment head on.
Okay. I'm with you. AITA for asking my college classmate about her pubic hair. I don't like this guy's attitude. That's my issue. I'm dinging on that note. I'm wanting to go YTA here.
Really?
Yes, it's nothing to do with the question. It's the fact that he's going, my question was less personal. I don't have to apologize. And you know what? She's lucky that I flipped the question so that she could build empathy.
Yeah, you're right. No. I think strictly because he doesn't think he needs to apologize. Like I mean, I get that hers was invasive too. Like I think it would be appropriate if they both were like, both said they were sorry.
I agree with that. Yeah.
Like, I think if they both were like, look, that situation, like, I think got out of hand more than I was hoping. I was kind of trying to mean it in more of a joking way. And I can see now how it was a bit invasive. And then it was like, he can be like, yeah, you're right. I shouldn't have done that either.
Well, he needs to initiate the apology, I think.
Right.
He took the bigger, she showed a bigger reaction. He's not saying that he was hurt. But yeah, I think we agree. YTA.
Yeah. And I think he can also be like, look, I did think that your question was a little bit invasive, so I flipped it around on you. But I'm sorry, it probably wasn't like the right setting to do it in. I realize I embarrassed you and, my mistake.
Love it. Guys, please rate, review, subscribe, and join us on Patreon, patreon.com/AITA pod. I think we're over 190 bonus episodes. They're bangers. Check them out. Follow us on YouTube. Follow us on Instagram. Follow us on TikTok. We got all that stuff. We got a popping off Discord if you join our Patreon. And yeah, once again, just thanks for listening, guys. Really appreciate it. Here we go. AITA. For refusing to give back $50K that my grandma gave me. I, 28M, have been dating my girlfriend, 26F, for 2.5 years. Her fam would probably be considered upper middle class. They got a nice house and her parents were able to pay full college tuition for the 3 kids with no loans. I was dead middle class and graduated my state uni with about $40K in loans. Her grandma was a lovely woman who died with a decent amount of wealth. I heard she had 4 one-wheels. Last Christmas, the topic of student loans came up. I said I have just under 50 grand and was hoping that the forgiveness would go through. She asked about my monthly payment. I thought it was worth it and all that. In the last year, she sold her condo, moved into an assisted living facility, and redid her will. I was not aware, but when doing so, she slipped in 50 grand to pay off my loans. We always had fun convos, but it was a big shock to me. I'm super grateful about it. She died last month, and while the money hasn't hit the bank account yet, I should be getting it all relatively soon, and I plan on making one lump sum payment to be debt-free. This is life-changing for me. This past week at Thanksgiving, her parents and siblings spent a lot of time telling me that it's not fair that I got so much when I wasn't officially part of the fam. My girlfriend got an equal share as her siblings and her mom, came down to about 60 grand each. So they got more, but not a ton more than me. A couple of her siblings are married and they thought it was unfair that collectively my GF and I got more than them or more than her parents. Throughout the 3 days at her parents' house, they spent lots of time urging me to give it back to be split up between the rest of them, to be fair. My girlfriend is kind of caught in the middle and at first had my back, but now thinks I should do it just to keep the peace. I really don't want to though. AITA.
I would break up with the girlfriend and be like, bye, take the 50K and get the hell out of town.
I think the girlfriend's in a tough spot. I think this family is acting like a bunch of children.
I know.
I think that very self-centered and childish attitude. The grandma's wishes are clear.
I know. I mean, that's what a will is for crying out loud.
I think this is a very humanistic thing to do. I mean, I'm just projecting onto this, but the way I see this is that grandma was like, well, this is a young man who's here. She's not stupid. She's like, maybe they'll break up. Maybe they won't. They haven't been together that long. They're not married. But she's like, look, he came from a tough thing. He seems like a good kid. Apparently they had many fun convos. And she was like, fuck it. That's part of what I want to do is free this kid from the challenges of loans. And I think that's an amazing thing because fuck these people. But she probably knows that these people would do exactly this, which is they basically really fucking short-sighted and self-centered. And what? So they could have an extra 10K each? Fuck you.
I know. It is pretty wild though that he got like only 10K less than like her own daughter. That is a little like I can see feeling a certain type of way about it, but also like I think if I were like the grandkids, I probably would be like, oh, like I kind of wasn't even expecting to get anything from my grandparents anyway. Like I didn't get anything from my grandparents when they passed away.
I didn't either.
And but I do think if I was like the mom, I also do think it's interesting that the grandchildren and the mom got the same amount too. Like that is kind of like an interesting setup, but obviously anyone can do whatever they want with their will. But I think if I was like, if it was my parents and then it was like my kid's like random boyfriend, I think I would definitely feel a type of way about it. But I feel like I would just be like, this is what my mom's wishes were. And to badger and berate him for days, it's it's unsightly. Is that the right word?
Yeah.
It's distasteful.
There we go. I think it's well beyond that. I mean, it's just unhinged. It's people not having a grasp of fairness and ganging up on someone. And it's really, it's frankly, it's juvenile. It's inappropriate. They're not seeing grandma's side. They're not seeing his side. And yeah, it's understandable that it would come up and someone would throw a few barbs. I get that. But then you apologize and you go, all right, look, guys, it's none of our business, grandma. I mean, if you were truly honoring your grandma, you would say that's what grandma wanted.
Yeah, that's what she
Who
wanted.
are we? That was her will, meaning her desire.
Yeah.
Pristine cow. The grandmother gave it to you. The point of wills is you get to leave your stuff to who you want. It's your money. You get to do what you want. The time for the family to have issues, it was when she was alive. If she didn't share the will with them, she didn't want their input. They should honor her dying wish.
Mm-hmm. There you go. Yeah, because it's kind of like, what you were saying earlier. I'm guessing it would be like they would all get 10K more. But it's like OP was saying, like this really is such a life-changing thing. And the girlfriend's family are upper middle class and, they got their full tuition paid for. And it seems like they are all in decent places financially, at least. And look, the college system with all the student loans, it's such a scam. And I'm very fortunate that my parents paid for my college and my sister's college. But I have friends that still haven't, and it's a struggle. I mean, it's a whole other rent payment basically a month.
Brutal. I can't imagine. Yeah, the government paid for me to go to school because I'm a good boy.
Oh, you got a scholarship?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
I did good on a test.
Lord.
So, I think that this is ultimately disrespectful to the grandmother. And I honestly don't think there's much to argue here. AITA for refusing to give back $50,000 that my GS grandma gave me. I think the only point maybe we could hit a little harder is, look, I think girlfriend's in a tough position. She's got all her family. Yeah. It's a very, very tough thing to have all your family telling you one thing, people you've known your whole fucking life against your boyfriend. And it's really all on them. So I don't blame her. That's going to be a very hard situation to maneuver.
Yeah.
Come on.
I know. But I think she should still be backing him up a little bit.
Well, she should.
But I guess...
sounds like this just happened. Weren't they all in the house, right?
Yeah.
Like she's like surrounded by people being like, Jennifer,
yeah,
what the fuck is she doing? Right. I want to buy the new one wheel.
Wait, that's not how much they are, is it?
No, $10,000? No,
yeah.
God, no, that would be insane.
I got worried for a second.
No.
We're gonna give you a one-wheeling intervention.
No, that'll get a couple. AITA for refusing to give back $50,000 that my grandfather's grandma gave me. I'm saying NTA and the family is. I'm going a little softer on the GF.
I think so, yeah. And when the money drops, get the hell on your one wheel and get out of town.
I need to email One Wheel and be like, listen, you guys have to pay us. Yeah. We are dropping this shit so much. Give us money.
Wait, is One Wheel a brand?
No, the brand, it's called Future Motion.
Okay, but a One Wheel is the type.
A One Wheel is the name.
Like a scooter.
They all have their own
skateboard.
specific names, like One Wheel, GT. They all have their own little like.
But there's a bunch of different brands that have it, right? Or no?
No, it's basically patented. So it's actually so shady. It's so shady. It's called Float Wheel. And the float wheel, you have to pay $10 in cash, real money. And then they send you like a pamphlet which explains how to pay them with crypto. And then you pay in crypto. And it's half the price of a One Wheel. And it's like infringing on all their patents or whatever.
Oh.
But like value wise, there's people who say it's, it's a much better deal because it's only $1,800 and it's like better than the best One Wheel or whatever. It's really not, but it's pretty great for $1,800. And but you don't assemble. It doesn't come assembled. You have to assemble it? You have to assemble it. And somebody on Reddit says that's because in court, they would be like, we sent you something. You decided to use it. We didn't send it to you like that. So you're lying.
Really?
That's what they said on Reddit.
Because they patented the One Wheel?
No, not the One Wheel. We're talking about the fake One Wheel. It's called the Float Wheel. They don't assemble it.
Yeah, but I'm saying the other brand patented the design of a One Wheel.
Yeah, or the I don't know exactly how it plays out, but that's why it's shady crypto shit.
Yeah.
Because, it protects their assets, I guess. So, whatever. Anyway, AITA for copying the one wheel. We should get him on the show.
YTA.
All right, Shan, guys, rate, review, subscribe. Thank you so much for listening. We appreciate you. Shan, take us out.
AITA for letting others eat my food containing unrefrigerated eggs. A person from my work, Jessica, visited me at home. She saw how I store my eggs, like most people I know, on the counter and not in the fridge. For some reason, she went nuts and told me I should not eat non-refrigerated eggs ever. I told her it was fine several times, but she was really agitated about it. It was weird as hell. At work, we often bring in food to share. I brought in a potato and egg salad and put it in the fridge for everyone. Later that day, a work friend quietly told me that Jessica was telling people in the kitchen to not eat my food since she saw that I do not care about food safety. Apparently, she did not explain in detail that it was about the eggs, but just about food safety in general. Well, I explained loudly in front of everyone that the, quote, issue was that I do not put eggs in the fridge. Colleagues laughed a little about it since that's how most people do it. They continued to eat my salad. However, another person from work, Nicole, came up to me later and told me I should not feed others risky food without informing them. If I wanted to take the risk of eating those eggs, it was my decision, but I should not make that decision for others. I was absolutely confused. It's the first time I heard about people freaking out about storing eggs. AITA?
Wow, Jessica and her eggs.
Jessica.
I freaking love eggs.
Oh.
What?
This isn't the egg podcast. We read the wrong one.
Classic. I really love an egg so much. So this is a great little trip to Eggtown. Let's first throw a little ding at old, what's her name? Jessica's OP? No, Jessica's the girl we don't let. Jessica's spreading the rumor.
Jessica's spreading
Jessica's
rumor.
crime here is interesting because what Jessica did is she did not report. She did not report, but her crime is a little strange, right? Mm-hmm. In other words, reporting in this case would have been, hey, OP used non-refrigerated eggs in the what was the dish here?
An egg and potato salad.
In the salad. That would be reporting. And then instead, she abstracted it to food safety, which in this case made it worse. That made it sound worse.
Right.
And then she threw this layer of do not care. This was a vicious rumor. That's what this turned into.
Yeah.
But if she reported the truth, I would be struggling to ding. If she said she used non-refrigerated eggs and I'm concerned, I'd be like, that's legal. You're allowed to be concerned.
Right.
But what she did was essentially mischaracterize this and effectively lie.
Yeah, she doesn't care about food safety. Like, that's a little bit of a reach
insane.
there.
She's a terrorist. Also, she's eating it herself. So it's like, so she likes, but food poisoning is the worst thing ever.
Oh, I've had some bad bouts of it. Bouts?
Sure.
Spouts.
No, bouts goes.
Bouts is? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I had some bad ones. Real bad.
Bouts.
Ooh, worst pain I've ever been in, honestly.
Bout and a spout.
Bout and a spout, honey.
When it's food poison.
Yep. One time I was literally, this is going to get gross.
Shipping and
at the same time.
Both, yeah.
But the diarrhea was so liquidy that I had to be pooping in the toilet. No, in the tub. And the throw up was so thick that I had to throw up in the toilet. I was sitting on the edge of the tub.
I just pictured this. It's actually a really bad situation.
Yes.
I don't know if I could twist enough to accommodate that.
What do you mean?
Oh,
twist?
I have a way. Oh, I see how you could do it. Yeah.
Well, the bathtub was right next to the toilet. So I was literally on the edge.
On the edge, just going.
I had never in my life thrown up that thick of.
Oh, God, Shannon, please. Oh, I don't know why the word thick got me. Yeah, no, I've been there. I haven't done that actual technique. That's kind of advanced, but I did the old rotate. It's like toilet with the mouth, toilet with the butt. Mm-hmm. Anyway, wow, I hate this podcast right now.
This is what the egg podcast gets you.
Someone's like, I'm literally eating eggs right now, guys. I'm eating eggs.
They are. We're ruining it for them.
But yeah, so this is fascinating because I thought I knew eggs. Just when you think you know everything.
Wow. This is a European thing, I believe, that it is more common there. Edit, I am from a country in Central Europe, and those eggs were from the supermarket where they won't put them in the fridge as well. So apparently is that like if you can't buy eggs from here in the United States when they are refrigerated and then just leave them out. If you buy them unrefrigerated, then you can leave them out.
Yeah.
It's like there's a certain thing about them. Oh, we got a fact check.
Yeah, I'm not super clear on what you're saying there, but this is what I am sure of. This is insider.com. In the US, eggs are washed and dried. However, that process removes the cuticle, a protective coating on the egg. Because of that, American eggs are more prone to infection from salmonella, and you are supposed to refrigerate them.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure because there are other people saying this thing that if they're unrefrigerated from the store, they can be stored unrefrigerated at home. But if they're refrigerated from the store, they need to be refrigerated at home.
Yes.
Okay, no, I'm comfortable with that because that's basically, the store is basically telling you what kind of eggs they are.
Yes.
But that does mean that I'm pretty sure you could refrigerate unrefrigerated eggs and they would last longer.
Yes, you can do
That's
that,
legal.
but you can't do it the other way.
Yeah.
Like if you buy refrigerated eggs, don't leave them out.
Yeah.
What?
I just thought of something that I'm not going to say. It's okay.
Okay.
Sometimes things shouldn't be said.
All right.
Guilty Pie 4614 OP says she's from our capital city.
Meaning Jessica.
Yes, meaning Jessica's from the capital city. Only thing I can really say about her is that she's younger, in the early 20s, and she previously lived in our capital city, which is international, especially with young people from all over. Maybe she got it from friends in America. Some dumb American thing.
I know. We're infiltrating.
Yeah.
Ruining the world.
The thing is, I was going to say is you can have vaginal sex followed by anal sex, but you can't have anal sex followed by vaginal sex.
That's true.
So eggs are like penises. I don't know.
That's true.
Right? God. Wow, the imagery that this situation has evoked. Yeah, I also have a personal fact check here. I thought eggs couldn't go bad. Now this is believed by no culture except the culture of stupid people. Mm-hmm. I don't know why I thought that. And I had these eggs and my colleagues. This is on a Zoom call. I was like, yeah, I love that. I got these eggs forever in there. And they're like, what do you mean? And I was like, I don't know. I bought them like a year ago at Costco.
No.
And they were like, there's a test to see if they're rotten. I was like, they're not rotten. I just ate them. And they're like, no, there's a test. And they said if it floats in water, they're rotten. They all floated. They floated on the surface of the water like Jesus. They just kind of were on top.
I'm sure they did. You had them for a year.
Yeah.
Why weren't you eating them?
I was eating them. I would get gassy after eating them, but they didn't actually taste bad.
Oh, yeah.
That's what got you, Shannon?
I guess so.
That's what got you, an old egg?
Well, you also told me about a time that you froze your eggs and then de-thawed them and then tried to use them.
Yeah, and they really lost something. Don't do that.
That's wild. How were you trying to make them like scrambled?
Yeah, I kind of made them scrambled, and they lack some kind of essence.
The fluff.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, it was kind of gross.
What did you eat them or no?
I took
you were
one
just
bite, and I was like, I'll just throw them out.
Yeah,
but eggs are so expensive. For a while, I kind of felt like rich. I was like, I got 36 eggs in that freezer.
I know. you really only had like apples and eggs.
Yeah, I do a lot of quinoa, apple, eggs, amaranth. And now I have a new thing. Amaranth, it's like tiny, tiny quinoa. It's like the smallest little quinoa.
That's yummy.
This is a new thing I developed. So I was previously a big peanut butter honey toast guy.
Oh yeah, so good.
I'm trying to avoid bread a little bit. So now I mix peanut butter and honey with quinoa or amaranth, and it's a fucking bop.
Oh, interesting.
It's like a sweet little oatmeal energy.
I can see that.
Yeah, kind of a banger.
Yeah, oatmeal.
And one Splenda. That's my cheat. Okay. Makes it sweet.
What about stevia? Do you ever fuck with stevia?
Yeah, I like Splenda more, but there's people who think they're bad for you. I mean, there's people who are like Splenda's bad, and then there's some other guys like Splenda and stevia are bad.
Stevia too? I thought it's natural. So how is it bad?
Well, Splenda's natural too.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
Splenda?
Yeah. Sucralose, it's like extracted from a plant or something.
Sucralose, yeah.
They're all technical, whatever. I was thinking about that too. People go all natural. So Poison's natural.
Oh, true. Well, they put that on the boxes to fool us.
Yeah, it's bullshit.
It is. All right, back to the sitch.
Eggs are natural and they can go bad.
That's true. They can kill ya. But anyway, so yeah, I just don't like the way that she is gossiping essentially to the other coworkers. I mean, I guess it's a form of reporting, but
no, not reporting. No, I think we established that it was not reporting.
Yeah, you're right. She's gossiping. And then the other coworker kind of being a bee about it as well. So I kind of think.
Oh, what was the other coworker?
Well, Nicole then comes up later and it's like, if you want to risk yourself. But all the other colleagues were like, yeah, we don't care. It's like, that's how they're. I'm just so curious why this coworker has never seen how you store your eggs in Central Europe. Like, that's how they mostly all do it. She must not go grocery shopping or something.
Yeah, one of those. She sounds American, like, in our culture, we do it right. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I guess to defend Nicole, it was kind of hearsay for her. So she heard Jessica spread this risk rumor. She bought the rumor. So, like, she's, I kind of don't blame her that much. But, like, I think this is basically a 20-year-old. It's shocking that it's a 20-year-old woman acting in a way that's very arrogant and assuming the worst about people. Usually that would be a male. I could see myself doing this as a young man. Except I would just eat it anyway. I wouldn't raise this particular objection, but I meant the arrogance aspect.
Yeah.
I'd be like, yeah, I'll eat it.
It's food.
It's food. Nonetheless, I think we're aligned here.
Yeah.
I also think this might be some of the grossest coverage we've ever thrown down on a situation. You looked gross. I looked gross.
This is close to the poop situation.
It's coming very close.
The dog poop.
It's very close. AITA for letting others eat my food containing unrefrigerated eggs. I think it's NTA and Jessica is.
Oh, definitely.
Guys, that is the app. Much love. Thank you so much for listening. We really appreciate you guys, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.